Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to the Alchemist Babe podcast, where we talk about all things mindset, manifestation, motherhood, healing, and so much more. I am your host, Dakota, and today we are diving into your most valuable asset that you have, which is your attention. And if we want to talk about the laws of the universe, which we will, this is very closely related to the law of vibration or the law of attraction, which is probably the most well-known law of the universe is the law of attraction, especially when people are talking about manifestation or creating things that you want. You attract everything into your life. That is the law of attraction. However, there's 11 more laws of the universe that you can actually learn how to harness to become the alchemist of your life, to become the master manifester, and to really create the life that you want. So today we're talking about the law of vibration, but more specifically, your attention, because your attention is energy. And energy is what puts you on to the frequency of the life that you are living, which tunes you into that radio station of the life that you have right now. And the law of vibration states that everything is energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, the things that you speak, your actions, everything is energy, and your attention is the most valuable asset that you have. And you are always paying attention. You're paying attention to people, you're paying attention to your phone, to your worries, to the past, to the future, and all of these things are costing you. Your attention is costing you something. And what is it costing you? Maybe your peace, your happiness, your clarity, depending on the kind of things that you're focusing on and that you're giving, you're paying, you're literally paying. If you've ever thought of that terminology, you're paying attention to things, and it is costing you the greatest gifts of your life, which is the peace of mind. And if you're somebody that feels like you're so busy in the day, but you didn't really get a whole lot done, or you're just drained at the end of the day, or you can't even remember what you've been doing, you just feel like a lack of purpose, a lack of drive, all of these things, there's nothing wrong. You're not lacking motivation. You are leaking attention. You are leaking your energy. So in this episode, we are going to dive into the truths, the energetical truths about paying attention so that you can reclaim back your power and start to manifest more consciously, more powerfully, with more clarity. Listen, you're not lazy. You're distracted. Your attention is being pulled into all of these different areas, into all of these different things, and you're distracted. And we live in a society where the goal feels like to keep you distracted from your actual purpose and the things that you should be doing. What is your screen time? How much time do you spend scrolling on social media? How much time in the day do you spend literally doing nothing productive, or watching TV, or get consumed in the next drama that's happening? Love Island, the new season that's going on. You're being distracted by all of these things. Your attention is being hijacked, and nobody has taught you how to put up boundaries so that doesn't happen and can stop happening. And today, that changes. Because if you are not consciously selecting where you're going to put your attention and give your attention to, where you're going to focus on, the cost is selected for you. And the result is you feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling restless, you're feeling frustrated. Like I said earlier, you're feeling busy but not productive. You're exhausted. You're constantly comparing yourself to other people, or you're constantly manifesting all of the things that you do not want. How many times have we been there? I know I am guilty of this still to this day, of trying to manifest something and then literally manifesting the complete opposite. Like I'm so focused on trying to manifest what I want, and the exact opposite thing keeps coming into my life. I'm also guilty of getting to the end of the day and being like, oh, it was so fucking busy, but I did nothing. Like, it was the most unproductive day. And it's not a good feeling. And we want to get back to the feeling of like we're on top of it, like we're getting a lot of things done, that we're following our passions, that life is just amazing. You know the feeling when things are going really good and everything's coming to you? That is the feeling that we are striving for, and it starts with our attention. You can think of your attention the same way as you are tuning in to the frequency of a radio. You are tuning in, you're paying attention to a certain lifestyle that you're going to live, certain desires, certain feelings that you're going to have. Depending on where your attention is going, you are literally selecting to bring those things into your life. You are selecting that frequency to be on. That is the cost of things. But so often we are distracted. We are unconsciously paying attention to things that are harming us or not serving us. And we are unconsciously selecting and paying the price to a lifestyle that we don't necessarily love. Think of your attention as you are investing into something. You know, when you're putting your money into stocks or into some sort of an investment, you want it to grow, you want it to get bigger, you want it to make you more money. You have an end goal in mind of having more, receiving more. Your attention is investing into these lifestyles that is going to duplicate, that is going to expand and multiply. So if you're paying for a lifestyle of struggle, of comparison, of a lack of self-love, that is only going to multiply the same way that an investment would in your bank account or in the stocks that you're putting your money towards. Maybe you're constantly paying attention to the fact that you don't have as much as you want to have, that you have all these bills coming in and you're not making a whole lot of money. Your attention is always being pulled to the ideas of lack and the thought of lack, and I'm just not good enough and I'm not making enough. That's going to multiply and give you more. You're investing into those thoughts and into that frequency of lack. Good or bad does not matter. Whatever you're paying for, you're going to receive. Not only that, but you end up putting up these blocks in your life that are now preventing the good things to come to you that you truly want. Money, for example, like I was talking about the lack, you're constantly focusing on the bills and everything that you don't have. You're actually putting up a block and a wall in your life to that inspired action, to new opportunities, to ways of getting more money into your life, because you are paying attention and you're so focused on the lack that you have. You are building these blocks and these bricks to put up a wall so that the things that can actually change your life and put you on a different trajectory aren't able to come to you because you're not attuned into that. You're repelling it. You're keeping everything away because your attention, you're showing the universe, oh, my attention is only supposed to be on this lack. I only want more of this lack, and it's going to amplify. It's going to multiply. So this is all I want. So the universe can't bring more to you. God can't bring more to you of the opportunities, that $1 million idea that you have or that you should have and you're going to have the moment you stop focusing on the lack in your life. You're constantly paying attention to your phone and to social media, and you're scrolling, doom scrolling endlessly. And then you find yourself constantly comparing yourself to other people. You're playing the keeping up with the Joneses. If you don't know what that is, it's basically you see all these other people with things that are expensive or nice, and you feel like you need to have those things to compete with them. And a lot of the times you end up training your bank accounts or going into debt, all so that you can put up this image that your life is perfect and that you have all this money and that you're rich and you have the perfect family, which is a lot of what social media is, unfortunately. Whereas when you actually meet the people behind the scenes, they're not as glorious as they seem to be, or they don't have everything. They're maybe in a lot of debt, their relationship is failing, they don't really love themselves, they're struggling a lot. But this is where your attention goes to, and this is the cost of it. This is what you're paying to receive more in your life. And your attention has now tuned you into these feelings of insecurity, of frustration, of sadness, of depletion, exhaustion. And you didn't consciously choose to be exhausted, to be tired, to be insecure with your life. You didn't consciously choose any of these things, but your attention did. You feel so busy and you get to the end of the day and you were not productive. You're leaking your attention and your energy to things that are not serving you. And the loop and the cycle will continue to repeat every single day until you decide to break it, until you decide to change, until you decide to put your attention into other things, to focus on other things, to become more aware and consciously choose the things that you are bringing into your life. And it even goes to the point of when you're relaxing, when we sit down and I know I talked about scrolling, but even with TV, you're watching TV and you think that you're relaxing and you're winding down by the end of the day, but the things that you're watching and the things that are on the screens you're paying your attention, you're giving your most valuable asset. I'm paying millions of dollars. Like when you really think about how much your attention is worth to you, millions of dollars. You're giving all of your money away to feel more drama, to feel more frustrated, to have poor relationships. Like You're watching these drama shows, these crime shows, these shows that literally are programming you and helping you to choose a life that you don't want. That's what you're tuning into. You're tuning into the drama. You're normalizing it. You're normalizing the cheating. You're normalizing the arguments. You're normalizing the backstabbing when you're watching these shows. And it seems so mindless. I'm just relaxing at the end of the day. Like, everybody's talking about the new shows that are coming out and you get hooked into these things. But this is what I mean at the start. It is, you weren't taught to put up these boundaries and to focus and to pay attention to where your attention goes. It's easier for you to be distracted. It's easier for you to watch the shows and watch the news and normalize the chaos and the stress and the frustration and the betrayal and the fear and the tension, and all of these feelings, they get held into your body. You might not remember them the next day, but your subconscious does. Your body does. Music is the same thing. Literally, me and Gus were just talking about this a couple days ago. There was these lyrics to a song, and it was just, the lyric was absolutely insane and we couldn't believe that it was said, but it's like a famous rapper. I'm not going to say the exact lyric anyways, but we were talking about like how there's so many people singing this and listening to this, and it's just normalizing this behavior of it's so unhealthy. It doesn't promote happy relationships. It doesn't promote trust. It doesn't promote love in yourself. None of that. But so often the music that we're listening to, the chorus might sound really great, but the verses, if you listen to the words that are being said in them, are so fucking toxic. And you are choosing to repeat those into your life. You're paying attention to them, even if you're not consciously paying attention to them. Your subconscious is, and that is where 98% of who you are is. Subconscious is where all of the things are wired that puts you onto the automatic programming where you go about your life, where you don't even have to think about breathing. You don't think about your food being digested. You don't think about walking. You just like, your body just does it. You don't think about all these things that your body's doing. You don't think really about the routines that you have because you've programmed them into your subconscious. You've normalized them, and that's just your routine, and your body knows what to do. The same thing is happening when you're listening to these songs, when you're watching these shows, when you're reading the books, when you're scrolling on social media. All of these things are programming your subconscious. You're paying attention. You're spending millions of dollars to put your attention into something that is complete opposite of what your goal is, of wanting more, of having love, of being treated well, of having the body that you want, of being in an incredible relationship and having the house, and not just keeping up with the Joneses, but truly living that life. Every minute of your attention is worth millions of dollars, is worth millions in your life. And you are either paying into your dreams or you're paying into the lack of your dreams. Content creators that are successful know this very, very well. Hence why the first 3 seconds of their video is the most important. How are they making their money? How are they going to get the results? How are they going to sell or get you to come to their page, get the likes, get the subscriptions? They need your attention in order for that to happen. How do they bring clients in? They need your attention. Everything is about attention. If you really look around in today's society, everything is about who can get your attention for the longest amount of time. What videos are going to go viral? The ones that can hold your attention for the longest amount of time. All of the people that are making a lot of money know this. All of the people that are making insane amounts of sales know this because they're fighting for your attention. The phone providers are fighting for your attention. The radio stations are fighting for your attention. Everybody wants your attention. That's how valuable your attention is. Everybody wants it. Even as a mom, your kids want your attention. Your spouse wants your attention. Everybody wants your attention. You are that fucking valuable. And when you realize how much your attention is worth, you're going to start investing it into the things that you truly want to multiply, consciously choosing that versus just subconsciously throwing your attention everywhere and then wondering why you don't have what you want to have. Manifesting all the things that you don't want. You have to start redirecting your attention. When you're starting to feel overwhelmed or you're feeling distracted, redirect it into a place where you can consciously choose to put it elsewhere. Maybe this is through breath work. Maybe this is through EFT tapping, journaling. You're focused on lack, switch it over to focus on abundance. It's as simple as praying. This is what I do. You know, when you are like, you're daydreaming, whatever, and then all of a sudden you get these thoughts. As a mom, do you know when you're holding the newborn baby and then all of a sudden these intrusive thoughts would come in of like, what if I just throw them down the stairs by accident? And if you're a mom, you get it. If you're not a mom, you're like, why would you think that? No fucking clue. These thoughts just come and they're horrible. But you talk to a mom and like we all get it. Literally, I would just be like, God, please take this thought away from me. Because if not, it's very challenging to pull that thought out of your head and throw it away and don't want to bring it back. Sometimes it can be hard to do that. But the more that you work on this muscle, like, okay, God, please take this thought away. Or at night, you know, you're daydreaming. This is what I do at least. You know, I practice visualization and I'll be like, you know, thinking of whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, I just get these thoughts that are not the greatest. Like the dream just turns for the worst. And it's like, no, breathe, God, I don't want to think that. I don't want to put my attention there. And like, honest to God, it works every time. And the thoughts get pulled away and I can redirect my attention back into the things that I want and the things that are aligned with my goals and my visions and my desires. Even the little micro shifts in your day can make a world of a difference. Like if somebody has just cut you off and your initial reaction is to be like, you know, fuck them, like I don't know why they did that, you're honking the horn, whatever, you're so angry. Micro shift, it's such a small moment, but instead think, oh, you know, everybody makes mistakes. I've also cut somebody off. Maybe they're in a hurry. Maybe they're a new driver. Somebody's rude to you. You can dwell on it. You can be frustrated, annoyed, or micro shift to be like, oh, maybe they're just having a hard day, stress day. I'm not gonna let it affect me. With all of your tasks that you have to do, I have to do the laundry. I have to do the dishes. I have to do this. No. Micro shift that. I get to do this. I get to do the laundry. I get to pay a bill. I get the opportunity to take my dog out, even if the weather is a little bit grummy. I'm so busy. I have to do all these things. Ugh, it's so frustrating. Micro shift that. I am in high demand because I'm not worthy. I am in high demand. Everybody wants my attention. You see, the situation is the exact same in all of these scenarios. The situation is always going to be the same, but what you choose to pay attention to is going to be different, allowing you to emotionally choose a different emotion. Instead of the frustration, you're now feeling the relaxed and the calm, and your emotion is energy in motion. Pay attention to different things will allow you to have a different emotion, which will allow you to be placed on a different frequency. It's not always just thinking a different thought, it's also the emotions that connect yourself to that thought. That is truly what creates the vibration that you're on and the vibration of your reality. And it might be challenging at the start you might still feel frustrated even when you're making these micro shifts, or annoyed or sad, angry, whatever it may be, you might still feel that emotionally. But over time, and I promise you, it really does not take that long, the emotions will even shift. You will find yourself being more relaxed, neutralizing your nervous system quicker, sooner, so that you can have these huge leaps in your life. So audit where your attention is going. Put yourself on an attention budget, the same way that you would with money, because it's the most valuable asset that you have is your attention. So audit it. Where are you spending it? Where are you spending all of this attention that you have every single minute of every single day? Where is it going? What are you paying towards? What are you investing towards? And let's make a budget. What are things that you actually want to be paying attention to? What are things, instead of turning on the TV at the end of the night, that you can do instead? Figure these things out. Instead of scrolling, you're going to do what? Create a list of the things that are worthy of you putting your focus and your attention into. You are so powerful. And it all starts with your focus. It all starts with your attention. That is all for today. I hope you guys have found some value and you're going to start to shift where your attention goes. Feel free to subscribe, like, share this episode with somebody that you think could really value it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.